Choosing the Honda HR-V 2025 is a very wise decision. Top safety ratings, an abundance of space, a well-built cabin, good feature content for the money, and Honda's well-deserved reputation for dependability and resale value are all present in this vehicle. The HR-V fulfills all the requirements as a straightforward, dependable vehicle for people who need a little more versatility and wish to sit up a little higher. The HR-V's popularity among Gen Z and first-time automobile purchasers may not come as a surprise, since they undoubtedly want to make sure their first experience buying a vehicle doesn't go wrong. But as they could soon discover, buying a car involves more than just checking boxes. The HR-V is extremely boring, even though it makes sense. Subcompact SUVs from competitors have a unique look, superior performance, more pleasurable rides, and the ability to fill specific market niches with off-road or sporty versions. Crucially, those competitors are quite reasonable in and of themselves, outperforming the HR-V in terms of interior capacity, fuel efficiency, and/or cost. Which competitors? As you can see, the list of vehicles that we rank lower than the HR-V is quite lengthy and includes the Chevrolet Trax, Buick Envista, Kia Seltos, Subaru Crosstrek, Kia Niro Hybrid, Hyundai Kona, Volkswagen Taos, and Mazda CX-30. Check out the Honda Tiny SUV, of course, but don't forget that there are other options that will fulfill your needs and warm your heart just as much. What is the quality of the HR-V's interior and in-car technology? With the exception of its unusual high-mounted floating center console, the HR-V's elegant styling and superior materials are mostly consistent with the Honda Civic. That is really wonderful. The wheel-to-door air vent, which has a metal-look honeycomb pattern coated over it, is the most noticeable Civic signal. Honda may eventually overuse this design feature, but for now, it's great. You can see the mid-grade Sport's unique, nearly plaid-like cloth upholstery above, and read our in-depth assessment of the HR-V EXL interior here. What is the HR-V's size? The larger subcompact SUV standard that the new HR-V evolved to meet was now shared by all other vehicles in the segment. Because of its excellent passenger room, the Taos, Trax, and Envista are among the most family-friendly vehicles in the group. How is it like to drive an HR-V? It lacks low-end power and is quite sluggish. Its meager 138 pound-feet of torque peak at an impressive 4,200 RPM. Unlike the zippy tiny turbo engines of many competitors, nothing really occurs if you lay on the throttle. This includes the Chevy Trax and Buick Envista, which feel significantly faster in the end, yet have 0 to 60 numbers that are comparable to the HR-V on paper. Both the HR-V's speed and feel are slow, while in sport or low mode, the CVT performs a fantastic job of mimicking the behavior of a fairly regular transmission, including shifting gears and even applying engine braking while traveling downhill. The sport mode, which is overly eager to upshift, doesn't really live up to its advertising if you want to move things along quickly. Paddle shifters are not available. Beyond the engine, the driving experience is remarkably well polished for the class. It does feel more robust and sophisticated. However, maybe that's because the suspension has numerous parts from the previous generation CR-V. The steering is consistently weighted with excellent responsiveness, and body roll is kept in check to a reasonable extent. But compared to the Civic, the ratio is substantially slower, and maneuvering along a winding mountain route needed a greater turning angle than anticipated. In comparison, the Chevy Trax and Mazda CX-30 are more animated and captivating. If Honda decides to go that route, there is undoubtedly a more aggressive variant that is more appropriate for outdoor pursuits. like a trail sport model. With barely 7 inches of ground clearance, the HR-V lacks roof rails as well. There is 24.4 cubic feet of cargo space available for use. The Bronco Sport, Taos, and Seltos have more, and that's only mid-pack. More crucially, we discovered that in comparison to competitors like the Buick Envista and Subaru Crosstrek, as well as vehicles with more features on paper, the HR-V's tilted liftgate opening makes it more difficult to carry bags inside. At least the rear seat of the HR-V can be folded completely flat because of a well-designed, multi-hinge seat bottom that descends into the footwell. There's no need for a 2-level cargo floor.